What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series. I appreciate everybody for joining in. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post videos, and join that Discord. That link is in the description below, and that is where I get all my content at for these videos. I saw people over there talking about overtime, so I wanted to discuss a little bit more on that. Obviously, I've hit it on it in the past because I have over 400 videos up, but it's always nice to put this on one video and for new people so they don't have to be searching through tons of videos. Guys, with that being said, I have a couple quick announcements. One, there will be no longer a Discord Friday. It would just be whenever I have the time to put it out. I'm working a full-time job building houses and stuff now. I got eBay, which is a big part of my life right now. I'm doing really good. Just creeping up on 1,300 sales, so I'm very excited about that. Really had a good year last year. I'm looking to double my revenue on eBay this year, so I've been really dedicated to that. If you guys want to help donate to the channel, it's much appreciated. And I also want to say over on Discord, there's two chat rooms over there, the Warehouse Check-In and Where We're in the World. I just ask that you don't conversate over there. The reason being is I like to keep that nice and clean. So when new people come to Discord, they go over on Discord, they see exactly what city you're from. Hey, maybe they're in my area. So they maybe look that person up on, what warehouse you're working at, and then you guys could start chatting and hopefully help each other out as well, because every individual warehouse, although they are very similar, they can be very different as well. So to find somebody that's working possibly at the same company or the same exact warehouse as you is a very beneficial thing. That's why I like to keep those two chat rooms nice and clean with no conversations. Guys, I also wanted to ask for your help to get to 10,000 subscribers. You could do that by sharing my content, maybe hitting up some new people in the warehouse that are struggling with selecting. And guys, even people that are good at selecting, watching this channel is just going to get you better, learning different techniques, and then, just the Discord community itself. You're not only getting pointers from me, but for everybody else that's over there chatting. So definitely help spread the community over on Discord and my YouTube channel. It's much appreciated. All right, guys, so let's get into today's video. Like I said, I was over and, just because I don't comment on Discord does not mean I'm not reading conversations over there, because once again, it's giving me material for my YouTube channel. And if you guys are a new selector, please try to take pictures if you're struggling. If you're a struggling selector, take pictures of your work, come over on Discord. You can either post it on the chat rooms over there, or you could just private message me, and I will do a video just for you to help you build a better pallet and hopefully get those times up where you need to be. With that being said, guys, one of the biggest perks of working in the warehouse is overtime. Now, that also could be a major downfall, and that's what I want to talk about today. The first thing I want you to keep in mind, the more you make, the more they take. All right, so you might be sitting there saying, okay, well, I make $45 an hour on overtime. If I work 20 hours, it's going to be what I need it to be to do whatever I need to do with this overtime, the reason why I'm working it. The only problem is once you get that paycheck, you're going to realize, man, they really stripped the taxes out of me. So maybe I'm going to have to work 30 hours. So really keep in mind, for people that weren't working overtime, go into overtime, the more you make, they definitely are going to take. All right, guys, this is a major thing. Don't lose focus on the task at hand. When you start working overtime, you just start to fall into a rhythm of just getting used to the new paychecks, all right? I told you in a previous video, for 10 years straight, I worked nothing but overtime, 16-hour days, 12 to 16 hours, working days off, working holidays, you get that bug. And sometimes it could be a good and bad thing. But after 10 years of working overtime, when I'm still heavily in debt, it's a bad thing. So you got to have focus on why you're there, what you're working for. Is it because you want to pay off a car, you're going on vacation, catching up on bills, getting ahead, buying a house, whatever the task is, you need to make sure that that's your focus and nothing else. And what happens when you lose focus, you start turning everything into a competition. There was people on Discord last year that they were competing to see who can make the most money. In a year. Guys, there is so many variations of ways of making money at warehouses that you could work the same amount of hours and do the same amount of work at one warehouse, and the person at the other warehouse is going to make more. And that is either because they make more, pay wise, or they get more in incentives. Unless you're at the same exact warehouse, that's the only way that you could really compete with someone. But the competition kicks up. There's so many people that want to work overtime that can't say no, that go in on their days off, work holidays, everything I was just saying, and it turns into a competition. So you start losing focus of the task at hand, and and then after a while, it turns into a sickness, because after that year's done of your competition, now you just keep working it. and it turns into a sickness. And then 10 years later, you're like, what the heck am I doing with my life? And that's the sickness. Then it also turns into you neglecting friends and family. You wake up, you go to work 12 to 16 hours a day, come home, eat dinner, go to sleep, wake up, go to work 12 to 16 hours a day, come home, go to sleep. And that's your life. On your days off, you don't want to do crap. You want to sit around and do nothing because you're so tired. And if you're that moron like I was, you're going in on your day off. And then that leads to the biggest one. It turns into more debt because you are making more money and you lose focus. So you start spending more. All right. You start spending a lot more and you're treating yourself to stuff that you really can't afford, but you're making that money. So you feel like this is the opportunity to treat myself and pamper myself instead of trying to get ahead. And when you do all of this, it's the beginning of the end, guys. Why is it the beginning of the end? Because you, like I said, guys, you're making $60,000 a year. Now you're making $100,000 a year. You got that new fictitious income that you have to maintain now because while you're working that overtime, you went out, bought cars you couldn't afford. You did some renovations to the house, took out loans because you're making that new fictitious money. And then you're either A, getting worn out, you're going to lose your job, whatever it is. Now you have to make up for this fictitious income, which might require a couple jobs if you lose your warehouse job. And you can't leave your job. You're stuck. This is how we trap ourselves in warehouses. And believe me, companies know this. They know when they have you. And you can't leave your job because of all that new debt you have. You know that I can't leave this $100,000 a year job now, but it's $100,000 a year because you're working all the overtime and making incentives to do it. But you can't leave that because there's nowhere else that you're going to go to be able to stabilize your income. And that leads to a ton of stress if you're married or even got a long-time girlfriend, whatever it is. Dude, a lot of stress in the household because you hate your job. You might not hate it now, but I guarantee you might get sick of it selecting cases after 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years, and you want to leave. And then the stress comes on. You're always tired. You have no life because of the schedule I just told you. You're eating, sleeping, and working, and that's it. So it's a very bad thing to get into, and there are ways to prevent this. And that is the first thing: set limits, have goals and plans. I'm only going to work X amount of hours a week. I'm not going to work any more than that. Once I hit my goal for the week, I'm done. All right. So set limits, definitely have those goals and plans. In 2 years, I want to pay off all my debt. In 2 years, we're going to have enough money to go on that vacation we want to go on. Whatever it is, when you have goals and plans, you don't get caught up in the crap that goes on in the warehouse with other warehouse workers provoking you. I can't, because you even get that, guys. I worked overtime for all these years, and then whenever I stopped working the overtime, I can't believe you stopped working overtime. It's a very toxic environment. It really is. Warehousing is a very toxic environment. And remember, guys, someone mentioned this in one of the comment sections, and they are so right. You are not doing this was over, I forget where I read this at, but you are not doing the company favors. When you stay overtime and you come in 6th day on your day off, please keep in mind, they don't care. All right. They just care that you're there. They don't care that you as an individual are there because they're going to write you up as soon as they can. All right. The company, you are doing them no favors. You're only doing yourself a favor by going in and working that overtime. Keep that in mind, please. Like I said, you are just a number when you are working in a warehouse. You're not doing the company any favors. Only go in for you and yourself and your family, not to think that you're getting one up on the company and that they're going to treat you much better. It ain't going to happen. And guys, don't discuss your work with coworkers. Don't say how many hours you're working. Don't say what your paycheck is. Don't get caught up in the competitions. And that's why you don't discuss it, because then it starts turning into that sickness I was talking about. So the more you keep to yourself, don't discuss your overtime. Someone asks you, I don't know what I work, it's enough, just keep it simple. Don't just start discussing your paychecks. Don't start discussing how much incentive you made because it's just going to turn into a competition. And believe me, it does. And if you are not getting ahead, then you are 1000% in the warehouse rat race. And what is that warehouse rat race? I made a video on it. It's a little lengthy. I go over my top 10 reasons why you're stuck in the warehouse rat race. And that video will be in the description below. All right, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate everybody for joining in. Please share this content for a lot of your coworkers that are working overtime. It could be a great thing and it could be a really bad thing. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.